he had this one house. It was a really nice house. It had like a big porch in front with two big pillars. And this big basement with this huge old furnace in it. Like an old, like, cast iron furnace. So it was like this older house, but a really neat style. You know, like just a cool looking house. And it had like upstairs with like 3 or 4 bedrooms. This is like years ago. 15, 20 years ago or something. When he got the house and they rented it out. And he rented it. He'd rent it and then people would leave. How was, I think, the first time he rented it, like it was family or something, and then they'd ask him questions, like at some point, they're like, hey, you know, is there something weird in the house? And he's like, I don't know. It was like something, they hear noises or stuff in the house. It was an old house. He bought it and then rented it. Yeah, it was built 70 years ago. Yeah. So it's an old house in the town. And people would say, yeah, there's just something, we hear noises, you know, at night and stuff. Whatever. So somebody lived in it for a while and they left, and then new people would live in it. And after a couple months, they would ask him same kind of questions. Is there something in the house? Like, is something weird about the house? And he's like, no. Because he'd never lived in it. He'd only ever rented it. But yeah, people would just say, yeah, they just hear stuff. And they left. Then he'd say, yeah, and then he had one of the 3 affiliated tribes, Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara. They're like 3 groups of Native Americans. Their lifestyles very similar. They live on the Missouri River, and so they have a reservation in the middle of North Dakota on the Missouri.
Missouri River?
Yeah, the Missouri River. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the reservation is just north of Bismarck, and he had a family from there, like, lived in his house, and he said he said they didn't even stay 1 month. They were in it a few weeks, and then I think they sent him a message like, bye. Like, they were just gone. They just like, they just took all their stuff and just left. But
these people were who?
I'm sorry?
These people were who?
They're Native American. Yeah.
And they left?
Yeah, they just left. And as my uncle has said, it was from knowing people, and even had a good friend from the 3 affiliated tribes. And he'd tell them the story, and they'd say, oh, yeah. Because we, like Native Americans, like, we don't want to be around anything unusual.
What did they say?
What's that?
What did they say? What was the story about? I mean, what did they...
Oh, they didn't say anything. That family just left. They just left. Just gone.
You never asked them?
No.
You never find them?
No, they were just gone. Then you'd have other people in there, and they would just ask, you know, a question like, what, you know, is there something, what's with the house? Something weird about the house. They'd hear noises. Well, I think it was even like some people had children. A family had children in the house, and they would say that, like the children say that there's another child in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay. It come to be the idea that, like, oh, it seems like there was a ghost, like some child's spirit still in the house. Whatever. But anyway, then he had 3 college girls living in it, because the college is right there in town. And so these 3 girls were in it for, you know, however long, like several months. And then one day their washing machine stopped working. Mm-hmm. And they had the washing machine and the dryer in the basement of the house. It's a nice big basement, you know, but it's not a finished basement. It's just for like the washer and dryer, furnace, water heater stuff. But anyway, like the washing machine just didn't work. It just didn't work. Like it worked fine one day, and the next day just nothing. It wouldn't do anything. Mm-hmm. So he was gonna, you know, fix it, or if he needed to replace it, he needed to replace it. So he went over there then, whenever, within a day or two, and you know, went down the basement. One of the girls was there, and was looking at the washing machine, and you know, so the first thing is like he goes to like pull it out from the walls, like look at the back, and check all the electronics and everything, because it wasn't doing anything. It was just nothing, but it was plugged in. And so anyway, he pulls it out, and as he pulls the washing machine out, a little rubber ball rolled out from under the washing machine. Mm-hmm. And the girl is like there, and she looks at it and she goes, huh, and she like takes the ball and she goes up the staircase out of the basement to the first floor, and she stands in the doorway, and she drops that rubber ball onto the step of the staircase going down to the basement, and then it just bounced down the steps into the basement. And then she come down in the basement again, and she said, "So that's what it is." And I was like, "What?" And the girl said, "Well, we hear this noise at night, and we always wonder what the heck it was." And she said, "When I drop the ball down the staircase, it sounds just like that, like the ball falling down the staircase." So anyway, it's like, okay, that's creepy. And the ball was, it wasn't like a new ball, like, it was an old ball. Anyway, but then he's looking at the washing machine, and there's nothing wrong with the washing machine. He can't find anything wrong with it, so he doesn't know, he'll just have to replace it or whatever. But anyway, he plugged it back in and tried it again, and it just started right up. So they run a load to the washing machine, and it worked fine. It's like, well, okay, if it's working now, we'll just, so we put it back where it was, and what did they do with the ball? I think they left the ball in the basement.
They did.
I think so, yeah. Well, anyway, so he said then after that, those girls lived there for the rest of the semester or whatever it was, and so they were still there for many more months. But he said that, but they told him then what they did is they made friends with the ghost. Like when they were in the house, they would just talk to the ghost as if it was like a little kid. So when they were ever alone in the house or something or doing something, they would just talk to the ghost. I think they said they still did hear the noises at night, but yeah, they weren't scared or anything. It was just he said, yeah, when they left, and then the new people moved in to rent the place, said never again heard any more stories. Ever, and that was years before. And then so for years and after that, nobody ever said anything. He said after
and the girls? What happened with the girls?
They were in school, so whatever. They went on, lived somewhere else, or probably finished school. Probably weren't even from the city. But yeah, when they left, then there was no more. Nobody else ever said there's something strange in the house.
Because they took the ghost with them.
I mean, as if it was a thing. It's just kind of a weird thing. It's one of those weird things.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, Mexico, it's a strong. Yeah, we live in those things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, certainly we do.
Like what?
Ghosts and things like that. Actually, you can sense things. You can sense when there's some. Well, my background is, it's different. It's like I believe that comes from my grandmother. And she tells things, the premonitions and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm a natural born witch. I don't do pagan stuff or rituals or anything like that. I don't believe in that shit. But I believe, there are things. Yeah, all type of things. And pretty common that, the ghost, if it's giving attention to the ghost left with them.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the interpretation.
Yeah, anything could happen, of course, or just when my sister and I were young, I was maybe 10. No, she was 10, I was 8, or something like that. My uncle was studying and working. And he went to live with another uncle, and they were I don't know, in their 20s or something. And they were students, so they didn't have much money, and they were renting and kind of a room in a place in Mexico City that is well known because it's an ancient area. It's old. So my mom took us to visit him. And it was funny because he's not a joker. He doesn't make jokes, and it's and because of my grandmother, which is really yeah, like weird stuff, happens to her. It's just like, we respect a lot those things, So, it was, we went to see him and everything, and then my mother and him start talking about ghosts, something that heard about this old lady that disappeared in a corner of the street, and, things like that. And he started acting weird. He started talking like that. He started like getting like really tense. And he said that, because they were sleeping together, the two brothers. And that the other brother that was like, he went to visit somebody and he wasn't there. So he said that the youngest woke him up because he is woke up in the middle of the night and started speaking whatever. Yeah, and he was like really scared because it was like weird thing, and then he told us that, and he started talking about other things, and then he started saying like, hey, wait, you're gonna scare them, like that, like really, like and we were like because I said, I mean, he doesn't make any jokes. And with those things, we don't. Like in the whole family, there's no joking with that. So, and then, he said like, it's to stop it, or you're gonna scare them, and that's not nice. He was saying like to somebody. And then we were like, who are you talking to? And he said, well, the thing is that, remember that I told you that my younger brother, he's like, talking about these things or whatever, talking to somebody at night and everything. Well, he told me that he told him that he was a guy living in the colony, in the Spanish colony, because that area is really ancient, as I said. And that he was, that he died. Yeah, it was like that he died. And we were like, oh, okay. And then they keep on talking spooky stuff, my mom and him. And then the lights went out. Just like that. Boom. And we were like, what? Because there were other rooms. It was not only his, it was like separate. It was like there one room here, another room here. It was like that.
With other people living in other rooms?
Different rooms. And it's like one floor, one level. And then the lights went out. And then it was really loud. My sister and I, we still laugh about it because it's like when we talk about it, it's seldom, but we have laughed because it was crazy. There was a radio, it turned on by itself, and it started changing the how you say that? No, channels. The channels. Yeah, the channels. Because we were gathering one side of the room, like start changing. And we were really like scared by that time. My mother and my sister and I, and himself, of course. And he was like, please stop it. This is like crazy to stop. And then we said like, oh, estás como operado del cerebro. We said like, you're damaging your brain. Have brain damage to my uncle. We said that. And then it stopped in a station that it was like an interview, like two guys talking. And then one said like, oh, a mí también me quitaron la sangre. Which is like, they took the blood away from me or something. And he repeated like 3 times. And we were like, we left like this, the room. And when we left, we were like really freaked out because all the rooms had light. But the one my uncle's had. And then we went to talk to the landlord or the guy who was managing the whole thing. And we said, everybody has light and everything, but we don't. I mean, we're still like, electric. And he said like, oh, that's weird. Okay, let me check about the boxes of how to say
the fuse boxes.
Yeah, the fuse boxes and everything. He went to check, oh no, everything is perfect. That's weird. And then boom, the lights turned on again. Yeah. So yeah, we do believe in things. You can ask my sister.